Welcome to the Modern Alchemist channel. I'm Aubrey Forrest, the Modern Alchemist. Alright, let's take a tour here of Mother Nature and appreciate some of the stuff that I often make mention to my students of alchemy, but rarely get an opportunity to actually bring them out into the field and show them. So we're going to take a look at the electric universe as manifested in the world around us. Alright? One of the things that I really enjoy about this time of year is that you get a chance to actually see the architecture of the universe wherein we reside. By that I mean, take a look at, for instance, the tendril structure, which is collimated in the development of all plant life. Every single one of these trees and brambles merely represents a different kind of frequency and vibration. And as we learned from Nikola Tesla, the universe itself manifests in terms of frequency and vibration. You can see that at this time of year during the winter when everything is essentially defoliated. And so as we look around, we're actually getting to see the impression of the electrical fields that we're constantly walking through. You see, as we go farther and farther into the brambles, you can see that the density of the electrical field here in this wetland is extraordinary. Now, all you have to do as an alchemist is recognize that that field and that density there is exactly as dense here on the path. Even though there are no shrubs and there are no brambles and all the trees have been cleared from the path, the fact is these electrical fields yet reside on the path. And they power you, they power me, they keep our hearts beating, they quicken our intellect. These are the electrical fields that stimulate our minds and give us congress with the planetary intelligence, the true source point from which our consciousness emanates. Yep, this is one of the reasons why coming out into the woods can be so extraordinarily refreshing and so extraordinarily educational. Now let's take a closer look right here. Astronomers are frequently surprised that when they study these chains of electrical cloud formations throughout the cosmos, that stars seem to follow those chains, not unlike the buds along this twig. Each budding point then represents what I would term as a Z-pinch or confluence within the electrical structure of this branch, this very, very tiny little branch. And yet, as you can see, each one of these buds then is an eruption point. When we look over here at some of these other trees, which surprisingly are budding, they almost erupt like an enormous supernova. You get the same sort of eruption that you can see in any stellar formation, where it's coaxial, erupting from the center as a result of a pinch that would take place right here, and then it erupts outward, boom, like that. That's right, I said it. If you want to walk among the stars, you have only to walk in a garden of flowers. Every flower out there is merely another electrical eruption emanating from a diffusion of electrical magnetism wherein we reside. You see, the one thing people often forget, we look up and we see our blue skies and we say, ha, that is the atmosphere. But we forget that up there, our star, our current source point of consciousness in the heavens, we reside within its atmosphere known as the heliosphere. That's right. We literally live within the atmosphere of our sun. Not the immediate atmosphere, of course, but certainly the habitable zone, which makes things like this so very, very possible. Frequency and vibration. Small or large, all of it is the same. Now, one of the things that I always find intriguing when studying the electrical universe from a biological perspective, specifically a perspective wrought from an understanding of botany and an examination of various plant life, you can see the same sort of structure is also found in the back of my hand, in the veins of my hand and your veins, because they are following electromagnetic forces and lines of force. The universe likes to go where it's easier. You know, first rule of magic, go with the flow. That's an electrical rule, an electrical axiom. So when you're walking around and you're seeing this mash of brown here, realize, and then as it goes off into that distance, it becomes literally like this wall or haze of just brown. That brown is a physical manifestation in wood and cellulite of electromagnetism. That's what you're looking at. This is like standing in a ginormous lightning storm where everything is striking all at once. And now, of course, you have to ask yourself why plants move the way they do, why they form the way they form. Well, the answer is right up there. Plants turn and follow the sun because the water within the plants, which becomes, as Dr. Gerald Pollack would explain, exclusion zone water or smart water or EZ water, they orientate themselves electromagnetically so that they achieve a charged state equilibrium between the positively charged sun up there and the negatively charged earth down here. So as the plants move through the day, they actually move and follow the sun simply by virtue of the fact that the electromagnetic particles within the water of the plants are orientating themselves in direction to the sun. That's how that happens. Photosynthesis. Photosynthesis from the standpoint of the electric universe. Now let's take a look at something else that I've always found kind of intriguing. Most people don't realize that plant life is formed in columnated structures. And what I mean by this is that as a branch or a twig begins to form, it forms with a central line, and then that builds outward. By the time you get to the edge or bark line here, and this is consistent all the way down through the plant, so when you see a tree trunk, you can see the multiple ridge lines. Let's see if we can find a nice tree trunk for us around here that would exhibit itself well for that property. As the line of force moves, oh well, this might work just as well. You have two layers, the phloem and the xylem. The phloem is on the phloem directs the fluids up to the branches of the tree, and the xylem directs the sugars and nutrients back down to the roots. So phloem up and xylem down. That also is a description of electromagnetic flow moving coaxially along the surface of the plant, giving further credence to the fact that plants are manifestations of electromagnetism. I am positively convinced that all you need to do is give a complete study of botany from the standpoint of the electromagnetic universe, and you would be able to predict and understand any and all electromagnetic phenomenon that you encounter in outer space. And by that I mean the creation of planets, the movement and flow of force, and it's not just the plants themselves, but all things which relate to water and the movement of particles and ionized particles through those aqueous solutions. So that would include us as well, given that our blood is also highly electric. So you can see as we walk around here that the density of electrical flow is extraordinary. Next time you walk out in the forest, take a moment, take a look, and examine the electric universe and see where it takes you. I think it's going to take you someplace very special. This is Aubrey Forrest, and this is the Modern Alchemist channel. Have a great day.